Hi and welcome to Mountain Aromatics. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I am going to go over some aldehyde information, like a teaching video on aldehyde. I swear to God, you hear that? Of course you do. This is my third time trying to do this video. It's driving me nuts. There is so many distractions. I do not get it. I do not understand. Hi and welcome to Mountain Aromatics. I am smiling this big because this is my fifth time trying to do this video. I've had so many distractions. Good grief. Okay, here we go. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to do a teaching on aldehydes, but first I wanted to say, because I've only said this in one other video, but all the photos that you see, those are my photos. I'm a photographer for fun, so I just wanted to put them out there so people could see them. So those are all my photos. Any photo in any of my videos, those are mine. So anyway, just wanted to share that. So literally, I wanted to share that information and literally share the photos with you. So anyway, so I know aldehydes can be quite tricky and confusing because aldehydes are there are very many different types of aldehydes out there, and so I'm just going to go over, I don't have them all, but I'm going to go over the ones that I have. So and I'll also explain how they're different. So the first one I'll say is Aldehyde C12 Mna. I did a video, an entire video on this, so head over and go watch that video. That brings me to use my videos as a resource. Like, I now have a whole lot of videos, so go look through what all I have. In the very beginning, I have some basics. I think I did a basics video, another additional basics video probably a week or two ago. But if you go back all the way to the beginning of my videos, there's some other stuff that could be helpful. Like the Aldehyde C12 Mna, I did a whole video on that, and I also did a formula on that on video. So go check that out. So anyway, that leads me to that. So when you get your Aldehyde C12 Mna, it will be, let's say you just buy a half ounce, 15 ml, it will be at 100%. So this is one of the ones, do not open it and smell it. And there you're probably going to do it. I'm just warning you, don't. Because you're going to be like, this stinks, this is horrible, who would ever use this? This is disgusting. And that is exactly what you'll think. But that's not how you're supposed to smell it. What you can do, and this is where there's no hard and fast rules, there just aren't. But I'm going to tell you, make a 1% vial. You can make a 1% whole half ounce thing if you want, but make it at a 1%. You're like, well, what do I use? Well, some people use alcohol, some people will use AldehydeClean Multi is in my head, but that's not it. Why can't I think of this? Hilarious. Isopropyl myrcate. That. So people will typically use the perfumer's alcohol or the other to dilute it. So make a 1%. This is still going to be strong, but this is how you smell it, not at 100%. Here, the florals come out. Here, it's actually beautiful. It's really nice. And here at the 1%, you can tell, oh, now I could see this in a formula, a couple of drops of this in a formula. That is how you use it. And there are other aldehydes, not all, but there are other aldehydes just like that. So with the 1%, I also made a 12.5%. I just did because I'm like, maybe I want one a little bit stronger. You could do a 10. That's what I'm saying. You can do whatever you want. Just mark it on there, put on here if you used alcohol, if you used the IPM, whatever you use, put that on there, put your percentage on there, so you will know exactly what it is. So I'm going to open this and smell this. It's going to be a lot stronger, so I'm not going to stick it all the way up to my nose. See, right here. That's close enough. And very, very strong. If you were to be like, well, when would you use this? Okay, I'll tell you. So if I had a pretty big formula like this, and this is just 100% aroma chemicals, essential oils, whatever. It's just a pure formula, undiluted. With that much, that's probably 5.5 mLs. I would maybe use 1 drop of the 12%. That's why. So, but if I had a little formula, and I know I have one here, Mountain something. Here he goes, Sweet Mountain. If I had a little formula with just that much, no way would I put a 12.5%, a drop in this much. It will beyond take over. It will be all you smell. That is not where you want to go. The aldehyde, this particular aldehyde, C12 Mna, is too strong. I would use 1 drop. 1 drop actually could go well in this much. For me, it would be a floral formula, just saying. But, so that is C12 Mna, okay? Now, another one that is very similar, because it's Aldehyde C12 lauric, and then in parentheses, the word is going to be dodecanal, but it's the lauric, the C12 lauric. So this one's at 10%, and it's strong. This one is soft and green and woody. It's a little bit different than the C12 Mna. Although it's an aldehyde C12, it's still a different aldehydes. There's a little bit more wood in this one than that one. To me, is strictly floral. But this one I made at a 10%. And again, this is one I would use 1 drop in a pretty big formula and see what happens, and just start with 1 drop because it is incredibly strong, and it is definitely less is more. You want to use a little bit. So before I go to I'm just going to go to the opposite side now to just show you. So Aldehyde C18 Coconut. Oh my gosh, watch this. Hello, beautiful. I could smell this all day long. It's, even though it's an aldehyde, it's a very different aldehyde. This I use at 100%. I do not dilute it. This coconut doesn't have that classical aldehydic, sharp, crazy note to it. Let's just, for learning's sake, say our C12 is the typical classical aldehydic. Wow, that's just, woo, it's just too much. It's just super strong that we need to dilute it to a 1%, and then you can smell it, and it's still strong. It's still strong at 1%. Let's call that classical aldehydic sharp aroma. This in no way, shape, or form, the Coconut C1218 is like that. It is not. It is waxy coconut. In fact, I did a whole video on Aldehyde C18 Coconut. On this one, I did a whole video. Head over there, watch the whole video on this. And watching these videos, you'll begin to see, oh, wow. Even though it's an aldehyde, I don't have to be afraid of anything that says aldehyde, because, oh my God, they're all going to be like the C12 Mna and just too strong or whatever. No, they're different. I'm going to show you actually a few more that are like this, that are incredible, that I absolutely love. And I love the coconut. You watch my video, I'm going to tell you. In there, I bet you I'm like, "Rawr!" And I go crazy because I love it. I do. I absolutely love it. So that's the Coconut C12. I'm going to go Coconut C18. I'm going to go back to this. But I'm telling you, even though this Aldehyde C12 Mna is really strong, there is a place for it. There's a place for it. Think of Chanel number 5. Hello. Like, you just have to get to know and learn your materials. One way of learning your materials are watching these videos. That is one way. There is a totally, that one way, the first way is learning that, hey, make it in a 1%, make it in a 5% if you want, make one, definitely do a 1% and do like a 10%. But you can do a 5%. I did a 12.5% and never ever open up the 100% and smell it. Just don't. Don't. It's too strong. And when you're making the 1%, have it out here. Don't get up, oh, it's floral. No, it's floral in the 1%. And so it has its place. It has its place, I'm telling you. But let's pick up on a different aldehyde. Okay? Aldehyde C14. This is a, remember that coconut is C18? This is C14. Coconut. This is even more coconutty and waxy, fatty. It's a fatty liquid. I know that's crazy, but it is. It smells like a coconut fat liquid. It's beautiful. It's a water consistency, clear, 338 hours on the test strip, and it is lactic. It has a milky presence to it. It's milky coconut fatty. It's beautiful. So if you're like, well, what can I put with that? Oh, type in tropical on creatingperfume.com. Just type in the word tropical, see what comes up. Type in the word coconut for other coconuts. Type in the word tropical coconut, pineapple. Type in the word pineapple, see everything that comes up. Although there's a couple of, I'll do another video, but there's a couple of pineapple things out there that are super strong and aldehydic, and they don't say aldehyde. That's a whole nother story, and I'm not even going to go there yet. So, sticking with aldehydes. So, that's the C14. It's absolutely beautiful, and you can smell it right out of the bottle. I do not dilute it at all. I do not dilute it. It's beautiful, and it's an aldehyde. Let me go for one more aldehyde that I use at 20% and I use at 100%, and it's the Stringa Aldehyde. I did a whole video on this, so head over and watch that entire video. Stringa, S-Y-R-I-N-G-A Aldehyde. This one smells like cut grass. Stems, beautiful. You can smell right up on it. You can get right into it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a little sharp grass, but even though it says aldehyde, it's not that, what we're calling in this video, your traditional aldehydic, sharp, like crazy, oh, just piercing your nose. This is not that. But I still made a 20% because, and I use this with my florals, because this 20% is beautiful. And I just want to sometimes use it in a smaller formula as opposed to a bigger formula. So that's why I have both on this one. That is why, to me, I think these teaching videos are really good, because you don't necessarily learn on the Stringa Aldehyde page on creatingperfume.com, oh, do it at 100% and do it at 20%. But again, it's not a hard and fast rule. You have to play with the material. And for me, I use it at 100%, which I would absolutely encourage you to do. But also, if you wanted to make a 50% bottle, make a 50% bottle. I made a 20% bottle. You can make a 20% bottle. I really like this, and it helps me use a little bit less when I am doing a smaller formula. So, but again, it's not a rule. I'm just here to share with you what I did and what I've learned. So I'm going to move into a couple of others. Aldehyde C10. This is powerful orange, waxy. It's not. Do not open it up and smell it at 100%. If you're going to, don't get too close to it. Like, some people open the thing up and stick their nose right in it. Do not do that. If it says aldehyde, I don't care which aldehyde it is, just take your time. And this is one that I'm going to say, I haven't done it because I use it at 100%, but this is one I would encourage you to do at either a 20% or a 50%. And in fact, I'm going to make that today because I really like this. It's 36 hours. The predominant aroma is the aldehydic strong stuff, but orange. You'll get the orange. When you dilute it, the orange is going to come out even more here. And I've used it and I really like it. So all of these that are like this are going to be very, very diffusive. They're going to take your formula, lift it up, and project it out. That is what these aldehydes do. Lift up and project it out and make it go everywhere. You use these at a very small dose. So again, that was Aldehyde C10. Just think orange. I wrote orange on there. That's the kind of stuff that I do. I wrote 36 hours. I wrote this as a middle note. I wrote orange. And then I wrote on the back that it's powerful, waxy orange, citrus peel, fatty body, gives power, it's diffusive. It goes well with rose, jasmine, iris, gardenia, and any of the citruses, for sure. So that kind of stuff is helpful for me, writing on here, because if you start getting a number of materials, you're going to be like, Aldehyde C10, which one was that? So I write on my labels, and I make I have labels and I write on there, and then I stick that on the back part. As you can see, I have another label on the back, but I write on the front as well when I get them. I just take the time to do it, and it's super helpful instead of having to go back to the website over and over. What was that? I don't remember. So that's what I do. The other one I want to go over is Mandarin Aldehyde. I really like this one. It's 72 hours. It is a little bit less aldehydic. This one almost fits in the middle between these two, where these to me aren't the sharp aldehydic and these are incredibly sharp. This one's probably not quite in the middle, maybe a little bit more over here, but it's not quite as sharp as these. I can open this one up and smell it. It's aldehydic now, don't get me wrong. This one, I would encourage you to do at a 50%. So make some of this at a 50% to use with your smaller formulas. And what's going to come out? The Mandarin Orange is going to come out a little bit more at that 50%. So I have one more that I want to go over. Aldehyde C11. I covered it up. I think it's like undecolone. Whoops. That one I'm just destroying. Yeah. Anyway, it's powerful floral, green, rose, and citrus. So it's C11. And look in the show notes and I'll write this down so you will have it. It's 293 hours on the test strip. It's a top note and a middle note. This one's going to be, yeah, super aldehydic. It is, this one, I will encourage you to make a 1% of this, make a 10%. And the other thing you can do is use these. Let me show you one other thing really quick when it comes to that, because it's really helpful. Sorry, give me just a second. Okay, so I've showed you in another video, but here we're going to just do this again. It doesn't matter. So what I do is, these are just the ends of, what are they? The ends of, like, I think needle things? Gosh. But what I did is I put wax on the end so it stops it, because they are open. When you get them, they're open. So I just wax a whole bunch of them. I put the name of it. So I'm going to use this over and over and over and over. And I put the name up here. So you just put it in here. And every single time you use this, you have your dropper. And you are not throwing this away every single time you want to use this. You just have them. And you can get a little container like this and put them all in there. And all you have to do is read the top and grab it. So that is what I do with all of these. But again, I would encourage you, so let's just switch this out. I would encourage you to do with the C11, make a 1% and make a 10%. It is very strong. My whole point in all of this is to show you, not all, just because it says aldehydic doesn't mean you can't open it and smell it at 100%. You just have to get to know your materials. C18, C14, absolutely. You can smell, and I do not dilute them. These two, I use them at 100%. They smell totally, completely different than these aldehydes. So, it's just important that you learn your materials. The ones that are super aldehydic, like that traditional that we're calling in this video, make a 1%, that's a definite. I would just encourage you to make a 1% for sure. Then you can make a 10%, a 5%, a 20%. But with these, actually, I don't even think I would do a 20. The highest I would go, I did a 12.5. That's as high as I would go with those super aldehydic ones. I would do a 1, a 5, and a 10. Or a 1 and a 5, or a 1 and a 10. Something like that. Definitely a 1 for sure. So I hope that was helpful. And yeah, and I hope you are enjoying my photos. Thank you again for joining me. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I'll see you on the next Mountain Aromatics.